Power Up Podcast, the AIME podcast for strategy, stories, and insights to help you close more loans. I'm Tommy Golightly, joined by Jonathon and Haddad. How are you?
Good, man. Holiday season, Christmas, Hanukkah, just a bunch of things going on right now for so many of our members. And this is the time of the year, Tommy, where they say, we got to slow down. It's slow in our space. Well, unfortunately, this episode, or maybe fortunately, is about how to not slow down during this time of the year. So I'm excited to get into it.
So if you're in the mood to not slow down,
Don't watch. Yeah. Move on. It's okay.
We have a lot to discuss today. We have the Broker Buzz, where we're going to dive into the top posts of the week from the Brokers Our Best Facebook group and discuss what's trending, what's working, and what you need to know. Then we're going to go into the sales pitch training, where John helps us become better salespeople. And then we will wrap things up, as always, with story time with John. But first, the fortune cookie. Ooh, flying all over the desk. Oh, this one's peeking out. Ooh. Oh, I broke the fortune.
Oh, no.
Fortune is in two. So now I'm going to have to, this is a huge mess. This was a mistake. Mistakes were made. All right. All right, put these together. Take chances. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Well, I took a chance and tried to pull this fortune cookie out, and it ripped in half. So.
Dude, I love that one. I mean, that's just like, I know it's basic and it's very like so many different ways that you can take that one. The situation there is you do have to take chances in life. And I think one of the biggest things people struggle with is regret. And so a lot of times when you're comfortable or you're dialed in, it's like you don't go down that path of potentially taking a chance because you're nervous or whatever it might be. But the amount of clients I've talked to, I always ask clients, especially like entrepreneur clients or clients that have been in the same job for 20 plus years, 30 years. I always ask them. And I can't tell you how many times they say, hey, you know, one of the biggest things I wish I would have done more of is take more chances. And whether that's take on more responsibility at your current job, whether that's asking for a raise, like whatever it might be, there's so many different ways to take a chance. And it's not just based on career. It's based on you asking questions. It's based on you realizing that if you don't ask questions, the answer is always going to be no. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things for me that's always helped me, especially in my sales career. I just am not afraid to ask. I mean, you know that about me at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't care what it is. I'll just ask because what are they going to say? I mean, if the answer is no, it's no. They're entitled to say no. They don't owe me anything. But also, I'm allowed to ask the question. So that one pulls on the heartstrings a little bit because it's definitely how I have lived my life. Definitely the last 7-8 years for sure.
Yeah, I was going to go down the responsibility route because I've never turned down whenever someone's asked me to take on more responsibility in the workplace. I have never said no in my entire career. But I wanted to take that more of a mental health route, and being able to say no to friends as well is also important. Recognizing you are beat, recognizing you do not have the energy at the end of the day, and you need to do something for you. There is something that you were looking forward to doing all day, and that may be just sitting with your partner on the couch, watching TV, or sitting in the dining room, painting little toy soldiers. And that may just be what you needed to do that night. And so that's what you did, and you feel much better for it. So that's what it means to me. Take chances. Your friends will all, if they are your true friends, they will still be there. They will understand. And you can even tell them, like, I would rather not do that thing with you, and I would rather do this. And they'll be like, oh, that's so cool. And then maybe they'll want to get involved. And it just, you never know. You take a chance, and if they are your friends, they're still going to be there.
You're so spot on there with the last part, if they are your friends, because it's funny. I feel like when you're, and maybe I won't use the word younger, but just as you're going through life initially, it's like you don't want to say no. And then now, like when people will text you certain things, I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm tapped out. Like, yeah. Listen, thank you, boys. I appreciate the invite. Just know I will not be there. There's a 0% chance. Like before, it's like, hey, I might be able to make it. Let me see what I can move around. Now it's just like, yo, I'm out. Like, it's that simple.
As a friend, I think that's a lot more appreciated to be upfront and honest and be like, 0% chance I'm in, opposed to, that sounds good. I might be able to swing it. And then the day comes and people are kind of planning around you being there. Now they can kind of just plan around you knowing that you're not.
It's so true. And the other thing with that too, Tommy, is like now I help people with it. Cause now with certain friends, they'll text me like, hey, you know, like I'm thinking about it. And I'm like, hey, look, just like, if you're not going to make it, I want you to know I still love you. Just tell me now you're not going to make it. And then they'll laugh and go, I'm not going to make it. And like, guess what? We're still good. I don't hate you. And that was something that's a people pleaser thing. I think you and I have talked about that. I've always lived my life with that. And that's part of my culture too, growing up Middle Eastern, where it's like, welcome everybody in. All right, keep them going, have fun, entertain. So that was really good context there. I think
yeah. Love it. Well, let's dive into the broker buzz after I get these crumbs off my desk. All right. First question of the week. Question: if a borrower refinances his 4A+ ADU under LLC DSCR loan, does this affect DTI on future purchase, or it will not be on personal credit? And since it's an investment under an LLC DSCR loan, it can be excluded. Thanks in advance.
So this question has a lot to do with, one, how the original loan is written. Okay. So if the original loan doesn't require it on the client's personal tax returns, then okay. However, you have to also grab the client's tax returns and see where it's filed. So if it's filed on the Schedule E, it's going to be treated as such, right? Personal tax returns, Schedule E, you have no choice. Now, if it's filed in the client's business returns, there'll be a separate LLC that the client has. So you'll need business returns for the client. Then you can see how that loan is actually filed. And then you would follow just the guidelines that lender has set. So is there an opportunity to not include it in the DTI? There is. However, most of the time, clients and loan officers don't do this correctly. And you do have to end up including it because of the way that they end up filing the Schedule E itself. So number one, ask all the questions up front. Number two, check with the lender guidelines. If you're going to write a loan like that, they should have it pretty transparent that says, hey, we don't need to go after the client's personal credit report. It'll be very specific. Most of the time, you're not going to see that. Now, if the client decides to pay off the home in like cash and they pay it in full, they can then just move it on their own accord because it won't appear on their credit report considering that's paid off in cash. And from there, they would have to file it again on their business tax returns. There's a separate form that they file. It actually looks like a Schedule E on the business tax return. And then you would have an opportunity to leverage that and not really include it in the DTI. But again, lender guidelines are very important here. There is a chance, but you have to ask yourself how the original loan was written.
Well answered. And our second one. I have a question from a realtor and I don't know the answer to. I have an FHA pre-approved buyer looking at a home. This home has a bedroom, laundry, kitchen, and dining room, and the light switches are all connected to each other. By this, I mean when you turn the kitchen lights on, all three other rooms get turned on. This is definitely a strange scenario, but it may, in my opinion, this is not a health and safety issue, which is FHA's main concern. The realtor asked an inspector friend who told her FHA wouldn't like it. I just don't agree. Can y'all give me any clarity on this?
All right. So look, I'm saying this in the most, please understand where I'm coming from. And I do this too, right? As an LO, I do the same thing. Of course, it's not a safety and health concern for you, right? Like, of course it's not. No. Like, I don't agree. Why would it be? So here's the situation, okay? Number one, inspector, okay, that could be one thing. The inspection report isn't necessarily going to the lender. The appraisal report is. When that appraiser turns those lights on and all three go on, the first thing going through their mind is going to be the wattage that's being used, because there is specific amps, wattage, and things of that nature when it comes to electrical for FHA. I actually believe conventional as well. But FHA has a whole breakdown of this. If you go through the handbook, just go ahead and click Control F and type in electrical, and it will pop up so many different things about electrical and just some of the nuances regarding it. Now, if the appraiser doesn't know what's going on, they're going to basically do a subject to appraisal. They're going to say, hey, pending an inspection. So they're going to make you go above and beyond, and then you're going to have to submit that report from the inspector to the lender. They're going to have to look at it alongside the appraiser, and they're going to have to look and see, does all of the wattage, is all the amps, does everything look proper? Is everything wired properly? That's not a safety concern. Does it have the neutral outlets that it needs? Does it not have that? And so there is your realtor's friend, the inspector, is spot on here. Something could get flagged on this, because think about it. Appraiser turns the lights on, three lights turn on, turn them back off. They realize what's going on. They're not going to go into the ceiling and check all of this. That's not their job. They're going to mark it down on the appraisal report. And so that's what more than likely is going to happen is you're going to get a subject to appraisal. This doesn't mean that it's bad, but you're going to have to do much more extensive work. And so I would be very cautious about you pushing back and simply manage the expectations. So as opposed to saying, hey, I don't agree, take a different approach with stuff like this. Hey, you know what? Go back to your agent friend and say, hey, your inspector might be onto something. I really appreciate you doing the extra work. Because obviously you don't want to look bad in the situation. And it's like, oh no, you didn't drop the ball. You go, you own up to it. You do it professionally. You don't say you're wrong or anything like that. But I'm glad you did extra due diligence. I did more research on my end. And let me just walk through what could happen in this situation, because you are right. There could be something there that pops up. And here is what could pop up. Appraiser can go in. They turn on the lights. They turn them back off. They see that it's 3 different rooms that light up. They're not going to actually check the electrical. They could mark the appraisal as subject to, and then it would require additional inspector to go out. They would have to double check the work, make sure everything is lined up under FHA guidelines. We'd have to submit that report to the lender, back to the appraiser, and make sure everything is good. They would come back and either tell us green light and change the appraisal from subject to as is, or they're going to say no go. We need to fix this and rechange the wiring in order to make this loan work. So that is exactly how I would handle that situation.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention the electric bill, like having every light on every time.
Yeah, that's you're gonna change. They're gonna change it anyway.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And our final question of the week: I have a guy who owes the IRS. He pays $200 a month. What he sent me shows $400, but he had the payment changed. How can he get me something showing the current balance and the correct payment amount? What he sent was from October 23 and shows the original balance.
All right, so this one here, y'all, just go into irs.gov. Your client's going to have to log in to their IRS account. It will be there on the first screen. It'll literally say payment plan. They'll have to do that ID me feature. So make sure they're prepared for that. They'll need like a license, verify themselves. It'll take a selfie, all of that. But irs.gov, log right in. It'll say payment plan right there. You click on the button and then have the client print it to PDF and send it to you directly. It is, you cannot miss this. You absolutely cannot miss this. It is in black and white. If the client got something back in October, that's just the last time the IRS physically sent them some mail, it looks like.
October 23.
Oh, yeah. So, log in to the IRS portal, and then that'll put you in good standing. You also could order the IRS transcripts if they're available, but it takes time to get those, especially since the government's kind of been back up and running very recently. That could take several weeks. So it's way easier to just have your client log in, irs.gov. You cannot miss it. It is on the first page when they log in, literally say payment plan or account information. And from there, the client can get all the info that you need in order to make that loan work, or just to double check if it qualifies or not.
Does the IRS can anyone make an account?
Oh yeah. As long as you're a taxpayer. Yeah. You log right in. You have one. I have one. We all have one.
So how much longer do we have to wait till we can log in and they just tell us how much we owe on our taxes?
Well, how much you owe, that's different. But I think that's listen, with AI and all the changes coming, you might be spot on, man.
It'd be nice. Cool. Well, if you want your question answered on the podcast, be sure to use #BrokerPowerUp on your post in the Brokers Are Best Facebook group. If you are not a member and not in the Brokers Are Best Facebook group, check out the next ad and we'll be right back with some sales pitch training.
Are you a wholesale mortgage professional? Well, then the very first thing you need is a community to help you and your business grow. With AIME membership, your community is right here. Joining our community means never navigating the market alone or operating without a safety net ever again. We are 16,000 members strong of united wholesale professionals. From rookies to top-ranking originators, all dedicated to supporting each other's success so we can grow together. Beyond entry to the best community in the mortgage industry, AIME membership gives you the resources, tools, guidance, discounts, services, and support that help you and your wholesale business grow, thrive, and most importantly, close more loans. AIME membership connects you with leading wholesale lenders and vendors, offering you exclusive access, services, and discounts that save you more money while helping you make more money. Never get stuck on a loan again with our lender escalation program. Grow your network and skills with the wholesale industry's best conferences and networking events. Get the strategies and skills of top originators and industry innovators with AIME's cutting-edge wholesale mortgage education, resources, and content. AIME offers all of this and more, starting at a low price of $19.99 a month. You heard it here first, couple cups of Starbucks coffee. For you to learn more and get started, all you have to do is visit aimegroup.com, AIME group.com/membership. Your community is waiting.
And I'm waiting to become a better salesperson. John, what do you got?
All right. So this one, I know some people feel a certain way about this, but I just 13 years into this, it doesn't leave my mind. It just doesn't. The amount of people, real estate agents, loan officers, salespeople, the holidays are slow. Oh, this is like when I kick my feet up, and I'm not saying y'all you're jumping up for joy and trying to sell every day and hardcore closing, but here's the approach I take. And Tommy, I'm going to tie in a story to this one, so I'm going to do story time and the sales pitch here.
Sure.
So I started my journey in retail, and I got to work around some absolute sales monsters. Okay. And for me, it was brand new. I was young. I was trying to figure things out. All I knew was let me find the guys and gals that were killers, that did very well, and just mimic exactly what they did. So during like Thanksgiving week, during Christmas week, whatever it might be, they would always be in the office. Now, not on Christmas Day and not on Thanksgiving Day. That's different. And plus, you can't call out on those days anyway. It's illegal. But they would say, yeah, I'm coming in. I go, what do you mean you're coming in? Like, you're a top producer. Take the week off. No. Let me walk you through this. And I'll never forget my first year in the business sitting next to an absolute savant of a salesperson. Guy could do numbers in his head faster than anybody, didn't need a calculator. I mean, it's crazy how skilled this person was. And one of the top salespeople at the company at the time, and he would tell me, hey, I'm coming in during Thanksgiving week. I'm like, to do what? Everyone says it's dead. No, everyone takes off. All your leaders are gone. All the vice presidents are gone. I mean, it is a ghost town. And so I would watch him. I'd come in and he'd say, like, I'm not selling. I'm just going to go and check on people. So what do you mean check on people? And then he'd show me. And I came in that first week for Thanksgiving, and I watched this guy absolutely crush it on the phones. Never sold anything, but subconsciously he was. See, there's a thing called subconscious selling that many people are just unaware of. And this is just being a thought in somebody's head when the time does come to sell. And I'd watch him like clockwork come in, make the phone calls, and would not sell, but he would. And he would say things like, hey, I'm just reaching out, checking in. I know it's the holiday weekend, and I hope you have incredible plans this week. What do you have going on? And that's the conversation. And he would never talk numbers. He'd never talk about mortgages. Well, look, I'm just here this week to have a conversation with you, check in, see if you need me for anything. But more importantly, just wish you and your family the best of time during this holiday week. I really appreciate you. Have an incredible day. And that was it. If they didn't pick up, he'd leave a very incredible voicemail. And then during Christmas week, same thing. He would tell me, get in the office. Okay, I'll get in the office. I lived like 5 minutes away, so it was easy. I'd walk in, and my mindset at first was, dude, there's no business. Like, what am I going to, there's no business. And then I'd watch him make calls. And after he'd make calls, I'd watch him handwrite letters. I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just easy. I can do a couple of these today, send them out on my way out. And he wouldn't stay there all day. He was a top producer. So I'm not going to sit there and tell you he grinded 12 hours those days. But he put in a solid 4 hours. He'd be out by noon. Put in a solid 4 hours, write some letters, have a couple conversations, mainly voicemails and text messages and emails sent out. And the last thing that he did that I loved is he would plan for quarter one. And he would sit there and walk me through how he's planning. And the clients that he was talking to in December, the ones that are waiting on after the holidays, he would walk me through his conversion numbers from years before and how he did it. And this changed my entire life when it came to sales during the holidays. Because everyone else I talked to, all my real estate friends, everybody else in mortgages, oh, dude, it's so slow. It's so slow. So with that story, I'm going to walk you through and reframe your mindset to this. So listen, y'all, we're commission sales. Whether you like it or not, you picked it. You picked it. And guess what? We all know it can be very lucrative. That's why you continue to put yourself through that pain each and every single month. So the first thing that you need to understand, there's a 3-step framework here. Number 1 is separate market speeds from competitor activity. Most people confuse less activity with less opportunity. That is not how it works. The market doesn't stop. Your competition does. The market doesn't stop. Your competition does. And I love saying that to myself out loud. Why? Well, 1, it gets me amped up. And 2, I know it's the actual truth. So here's what holidays do, right? Fewer calls are made, fewer follow-ups occur, which means there's less noise when you're making these calls and dialing out to your consumers. Now, again, it's not about jumping in and going, I'm going to convert this client. No, you have to be genuine and authentic with what's actually occurring during this time. People are busy. You have to respect that. So I'm not jumping into sales when I get on there. So if activity's down 30%, just remember that means your competition is down 70%, which is a perfect opportunity for you. So now my phone calls are about the holidays. What are you doing? If they do answer the phone, especially if they answer the phone like aggressive, right? What are you doing? Call me during the holiday. It's busy. Oh, Tommy, I'm so sorry. We're already off on the wrong foot, my friend. I'm literally just calling you to check in during this holiday season. Wanted to see what you and your family were up to. And then boom, start a conversation, strike it. No, don't worry. I'm not here to talk mortgages with you. I know how boring that is, especially right now. I'm sure you got 100 other things going on with you and your family. What do you guys have planned? I'm about to get out of here in about an hour or so myself. Don't worry. I'm not trapped in this office all day. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, but it's not everyone's going to answer the phone that way.
Perfect.
There's some people that holidays, it's not a happy time. Like it can be like I know a lot of people that really struggle around this time.
Yes.
And I do a similar thing just as a friend, and I call and I text and I check on them because I know this time of year is hard on them. And so sometimes I bet you some of those phone calls just ended up being, oh, it's really nice to have someone just to talk to.
That and Tommy, the amount of times where people would like tell me their life story and I build a bond with that person.
And you have the time for it.
Yeah, and it goes deep. And exactly, I have the time for it. And that leads us into number 2, where you're shifting from transaction hunting to relationship deepening. This is a really big deal here. As opposed to asking yourself, oh, who's buying right now? Instead, ask yourself, who will remember me in February?
Yep.
You're shifting into this momentum of gratitude. It's no pressure. Gratitude touches. You're not trying to close anything today. And that's how I make the calls feel when I'm dialing in and these clients are picking up the phone. Trust compounds. And as you're the one having these conversations and it's not transactional, the clients feel it. Because think about the peak months. It's so transactional during the peak months, right? Boom, do a loan. Here's a refinance, purchase, work with me, work with me, work with me. Everything is transactional. During the holiday time, things can be much more relationship based. Plus, those people that are going through it, there are a lot of people as well that are just they have more gratitude in their heart. Their hearts are filled more with joy and excitement and love. And so that is what the conversations are about when I'm diving into it. And again, I'm not saying Christmas Day, but next week, right? Many people are probably off the day after Christmas, Christmas Eve. Those are the days I was making calls. And I'm not telling you 8-hour days, 2 hours, 4 hours. You can't make 5 calls. And these could be clients you've helped in the past too. If you want to make it easier, I don't want to cold call somebody. All right, fine. If you're afraid to make the cold call somebody you've helped before. I'm just checking in on you and your family. I really appreciate you. I just want you to know you guys gave me an opportunity by helping you. You helped put food on my table for my family and I. Just wanted to reach out, show my gratitude to y'all. And I hope you guys have a beautiful holiday season. Do you have any plans?
Yeah, maybe it's their first Christmas or holiday in the house.
Yes. And it goes so deep. And so there's a big principle there. So trust compounds when others go silent. Never forget that. And then number 3, play the calendar forward. So this is where he taught me how to really set this up. December activities creates opportunities for January, February, and March. So this helps you build your pipeline in January. This helps you set up closings in February, and then this gives you a momentum coming into March, moving into that purchase season. People are getting tax refunds and all those other things are starting to occur. So think about that for a second. the work that you do in December builds your pipeline for January. The pipeline you build in January gives you the closings in February. The closings you get in February gives you the momentum in March. Q1 is out the door. Have a great day. Many salespeople, if you take a week, 2 weeks off, okay, you are setting yourself up for failure. Now, let's be crystal clear. There are some people out there that have been doing this for 10, 15, 20 years. They have a system down. They probably take the last 2 weeks off. I get it. You build yourself up. You know you're walking into business in January. Yes, there are some killers out there. But let's not pretend for a second that many of us that are listening to this call are a bunch of killers that are having business fall in their lap in January and don't know what to do with themselves. So again, I'm not saying put your foot to the pedal and sit there and drive and hoorah and sales tactics. What I am saying is you have the ability to spend 2 to 4 hours a day during the holiday weeks to connect with your consumers and make it less transactional and more about relationship deepening. So those are the 3 steps that you can take during the holidays to give yourself the constant momentum that you need when it comes to sales, because sales, my friends, is a momentum game. So that is my story and my sales tip for the day. I hope y'all enjoyed it.
I did. I certainly did. And thank you for tuning into this episode of the Broker Power Up podcast. If you found today's tips helpful, do us a favor. Hit the like button to let us know you enjoyed it, which helps even more people see this content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ring the bell to get notified every time we drop new content. Share this video with a fellow broker who could use a power up. And remember to lead by example, to lift each other up, to grow together, and most importantly, close more loans. Until next time, keep powering up.